And hello everyone, it is Tino back with some more Final Fantasy XIV goodness. And today I'm going to give you a little bit of a sort of like an impromptu questing guide and leveling guide and just some overall tips on your gameplay here in the world of Eorzea, as it's called, which is a little bit ridiculous, but hey, Final Fantasy can be as ridiculous as it wants to be. We all love it, or you do if you're playing this game. So, let me get started here. One of the first things to keep in mind is when you're leveling up, obviously you want to be doing lots of quests. You want to gather as many quests in a specific area as you possibly can. Pick them all up at the same time. Try and do them all before you go back and turn them all in. In this game, there's a couple of distinctly unique ways to level up. Especially the quests themselves can be much more different than just the, well, at least the way that you accrue the quests can be very different. So daily quests are called leaves or levs. It's spelled L-E-V-E-S. It's I don't know where they came up with the name of that, but anyway, it basically means the daily quest, and as you can see in the bottom here, you have a specific amount of allowances. I think you start off with quite a few of them, but basically you get 3 allowances per 12-hour period. I live on the East Coast, so I get my allowances at 8 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock at night. East Coast, United States, of course. No comment. Anyways, so yeah, allowances are basically, you know, your daily quests. You can do X amount of them, and that's as many as you're allowed. Shazam! So, as you're leveling up, you want to be doing lev quests when they become available. That's basically, I think, around level 10 or so. You'll go to an area, and then there will be a trial lev quest, and then that person, who's called a lev meet, will give you subsequent lev quests in other areas. Yada yada yada. There's usually a trial one to get started, but we will jump back to the lev quests in just a second or two. So, starting from the beginning of the game and leveling up, it's basically mostly quests in the beginning. There's, you know, quest for your class, such as Conjurer, Lancer, yada yada yada. I start off in Gridania, so it's the forest world. Oh, look at the forest, the pretty forests of Gridania. And this is actually where you sign up for a grand company, but we'll get to that in a second. So, as you're leveling and you're a low-level character, it's mainly just quests that you need to focus on. Make sure that you are doing your main quest line at the same time as the area quests. The main quest is going to take you into all the instances, well, not all of them, but most of the instances. It's going to take you into new areas, and it's also going to help you get a Magitech mount at the end of the quest line. So stick with it, because you get something really cool. Some of the things that give you really awesome experience as you're leveling are fates. Fates are almost like, if you played Rift, fates are a concept you'll be very familiar with because they were called rifts in Rift. Basically, it's an active event that happens on the map in a specific area. Anyone can join. All you have to do is just run into it and shazam, you're fating, or whatever the verb is to fate. And yeah, it's got a small thing of objectives. You just do them real quick. Like, the more people there are, the faster it goes. There is a bit of a balance, though. It's good to be in a place that has a lot of people doing the fates, because they in themselves will give you probably the most XP you can get out of anything. And they also come in handy a little bit later down the road, all besides that. So, yeah, leveling up, stick with the main quest line, stick with make sure you do your local quests, gather them all up, do levs as they become available, do the fates when you see them. If you're in an area that has a lot of people running between fates, put the quests on hold for a little while, just jump into the fate group, do a whole crap ton of them. Another thing that's very, very important is called a guild hest. And the guild hests are essentially like an instance that you can jump into via a queue. They actually are very easy to jump into and out of. And unlike the dungeons, the instances themselves are, you have to have the specific party roles in order to get through them. The guild hest, it's a little bit more flexible. As long as you have a healer, you don't really need a tank. yada yada yada. So they're very interesting. They're almost like a small scenario in which you have one specific objective. The maximum time limit is 30 minutes. Normally they take maybe 10, honestly. Instances themselves, the cool thing about the instances, and you definitely want to do these as you're going, they have a maximum time limit of 90 minutes. So the longest you could possibly be in there is 90 minutes. And honestly, the longest I've ever been in an instance in this game, the dungeons in particular, the longest I've ever had is about a half an hour, and that was with a fairly slow group. So yeah, it's not too hard to level up. The leveling is very quick. I'm already level 29. I've only been playing for maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 days now, because I started on Saturday, so I got the early access. But yeah, almost level 30. Once I do hit level 30, some good stuff happens. But before I get there, I want to talk about level 20, which is a significant milestone besides level 10 and such. Before I do get there, I just want to mention, as you're leveling, make sure you do your class quests also. They're crucial. You get very interesting abilities that are important to, you know, use your class to its fullest extent. I said extent, no homo. Sorry, everyone. Maybe I didn't need to say that, but breaking up the monotony of me just yapping my face off. So anyway, while I'm in here, the part of the reason I'm in this room is because this is where you sign up for a grand company. So another reason you're doing the main quest line and keeping it going is because after you beat the level 20 storyline quest, and let me open the duty finder real quick, it unlocks the trial, the first primal fight that you have to fight, and spoiler alert, it's Ifrit. And Ifrit is a very cool trial that you'll be able to do. And once you beat Ifrit, then you're able to sign up for a grand company. This is post level 20. You know, basically around level 20 you'll be able to do this quest. A little bit after it, you'll probably get some levels up and stuff. So one of the important things about joining a grand company, and there are 3 different grand companies. One of the cool things about them is that as you progress through the ranks of the grand company, you get passive bonuses and other stuff. They'll help you keep your gear current. And honestly, that's a very important thing, because keeping your gear current is not too easy to do. It's not difficult, but a lot of times you're wearing gear for like 5 to 7 levels at a time. This will help you remedy that. You can keep your gear a little bit closer to your actual level, so that's a really nice thing. Once you join the grand company, you're able to accrue a currency called seals, and in the bottom right you can see at the moment I have 1,600 seals. That's because I've spent about 4,000 or so. You need 2,000 seals to get your chocobo. So that is under the material here. No, armor. I honestly forgot. I think it was under the material because I already bought it, but it costs 2,000 of these seals. And once you buy that, you can bring it over to the chocobo keep in wherever your city is, and you'll have your pet chocobo, who's I have bound over to this key here. There's, of course, an insect flying around me as I'm trying to record this. Damn you, insect! Stay away! So yeah, 2,000 seals gets you your mount. The seals are not that difficult to farm, and that's another reason why I wanted to make this video, because I've been noticing a lot of people mentioning on the forums and stuff like that, how do I get these seals, yada yada yada. Depending on the company that you join, there's essentially grand company levs that you can do in a specific area. So for me, I joined the Twin Adders, which is focused towards melee DPS characters. The other 2, let me just briefly mention that, are Maelstrom, which is designed for tanking type people, and then there is, I think it's something of the 2 Flames, whatever. That's for Disciples of Magic, like any of the caster classes are going to get the most out of joining those. So once you join this, for example, Twin Adders, their levs are out of a place called Hawthorne Hut, which is in Eastern Shroud, and you can do, they run off of the same daily meter, so while you're farming the seals, you kind of have to choose between more XP doing the local levs or doing the guild-related, or grand company-related levs. Pardon me, I gotta stop using guild. It's a bad habit from like WoW and Rift and stuff like that. While you're leveling, it is important that you join a free company as well. Free companies are basically like the guilds from your other games, like WoW and so on and so forth. The free company is cool because basically it gives you passive combat XP bonuses while you're, just killing any enemy at all, anywhere on the world, and that's nice. Another thing that's cool about this game is they tend to give you XP bonus food very frequently. I actually... yeah, see on the bottom, it says at the bottom of the tooltip, it says XP bonus plus 3%. Almost every food gives you an XP bonus, which is super duper. So you basically should keep that up at all times, and it's not too hard to do that. I just want to give you a friendly reminder here. Stick with the main quest, and also, be attentive to your duty finder. It's a helpful tool. You don't necessarily always need to queue through it. Guild hests you need to queue through the duty finder. Dungeons, honestly, the best way to queue is to go to the place where the dungeon is and spam in the chat and start a party. Start a party, then join. That's a crucial point to make, especially as DPS. If you can get a healer or a tank in your party before your queue, you are guaranteed a fast queue. It'll go like lightning because the other roles are going to be easy to fill. So keep that in mind. The trials are very level specific. I've only done one, so I can't tell you too much about that. PvP, I'll hit at level 30. I'll check it out. Definitely going to make a separate video for PvP because that's going to be important. I'm also going to do a separate video for crafting because crafting, it turns out, is essentially a separate class that you almost have to level up like a combat class by fighting stuff and stuff like that. You actually don't have to fight things, but there's quests, there's a lot of... lots and lots of crafting you have to do, and it has a cool mini-game involved also. So yeah, that's sort of like a brief overview. Those are my tips on leveling. TLDR, let me just summarize real quick. Too long didn't read, just in case you... I don't know why I'm explaining that. You obviously know. So stick with the main quest line. Always try to get that as up-to-date as possible. It's crucial to getting into the instances. You can't do the instances unless you've gotten the quest line to that point. You can't beat the trials unless you've got the quest line to that point, which means you can't join a grand company, which means you can't get seals, which means you can't get a chocobo, and let's face it, that's huge priority for just about everybody. Don't forget to join a free company, don't forget to join a grand company at level 20, and start accruing your seals. You can get gear, this stuff is all really helpful. And then basically the biggest milestone after that is level 30, which I will hit pretty shortly, I'm sure you can see. So yeah, basically that means you can pick your job at that point. That's always a fantastic thing. I will explain more of that once I've actually done it, and I can tell you how you actually get the other class and stuff like that. Or get the job, rather. Getting classes is very easy. You go to whatever guild it is in whatever main city, talk to the person that is the guild recruiter or guild whatever that person is, not the guild master, but the other person in there. And as soon as you get the weapon, you equip it, and it gives you the class, and then you can level that class up. So yeah, after 30, make sure that you do your chocobo related quest as well. One of the best things about being level 30 is that the chocobo can be a friendly helper, and that's pretty cool, and it'll come in handy, especially down the line as you fight some tougher enemies, and especially if you're melee class, your chocobo can be a healer, and that's really cool. Or your chocobo can be a tank if you're a caster class. It's a very nice supplement, and from what I hear, they come in handy. So yeah, that's basically the overview there. Tips and tricks courtesy of your old friend Tino here. So make sure to stay tuned. There will be plenty more videos after this. Probably a crafting video. I might even do that tonight just because I'm in the mood. And then PvP and job related videos coming up after that. So thanks guys for watching. Appreciate it. I will catch you in the next episode. Hey guys, it's Tino. I have a quick addendum to my questing leveling guide. I actually forgot to mention, like a total chotch, the hunting log. This is something very important to do as you're leveling up. You'll find a certain number of enemies to kill as you go through different areas. Thankfully, they're nice enough to label the general area in which the enemies are found. For example, North Shroud, Central Shroud, yada yada yada. This is where I started, so obviously they're all going to be in the shrouds and so on and so forth. They're gated to levels, so every 10 levels you'll open up a new one of these, assuming you've completed the previous one. And the other thing about it is there's also a Grand Company related hunting log, which believe it or not will actually help you accrue more of these seals, and the seals, like I said, get you gear, get your chocobo, get you other stuff like that. Once you've gotten your chocobo, this one is less important, but for the experience, I mean, you get huge chunks of experience for beating each one of these segments. So definitely do that as you go, and don't forget all the other yummy stuff that I mentioned. And yeah, thanks for watching, and a little addendum here, and hopefully that'll help you find your way through and level up quickly. Stay tuned. There will be some more goodness in the Final Fantasy XIV world coming up soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.